The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
What's up? Hey, giddy up, everybody. Welcome to the Failure to Stop podcast. We are live right now on YouTube, where we do it every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then we're live anytime you plug us in and listen. Anytime. We're always there for you. That's how we do it. Fun guy, love guy in the chat says it's time to hide on the job while listening to this. So I might have just outed him. If his bosses are also listening, good luck trying to find a little hide and seek with fun guy, love guy, because he's trying to find a quiet corner of their space to listen to the show. Appreciate that. What's going on, dude?
Not much, man. Just it's been a fun week, man. We've had a lot of good shows this week, man. I just feel like every show. You guys were out of town last week, so I had to produce the own shows and I messed up audio and everything. But this week seems to be going like super smooth. I can't believe it's already Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Today, guys, on the show, every Friday we do a breakdown of some kind. We interact with the police response to a situation, whether they were directly involved or not, cases current or past. Today, we are going to talk about this crazy murder story out of Las Vegas. Robert Tellis, an amazing politician, decided that a reporter took it a little too far. So he took it a little too far and murdered him. So, yeah, crazy. We're going to talk about that and how the police were able to interact in this situation or engage in this situation and make a fast arrest. We'll talk about that. If you are new to the show, we have 4 shows a week. Mondays is Off the Cuff with normally myself and Dave, the underpaid producer. I was out of town, or Dave was out of town, and then this week I'm at a conference, so I won't be there, and it'll be underpaid producer, man. He's stepping up. He's co-hosting. It's crazy. He's even sharing law enforcement stories.
Yeah, and I know nothing about law enforcement.
He's growing up so fast.
I fed him some stuff. I fed him some humorous
experience.
little things for tomorrow for his part of the show. But anyway, law enforcement related news. We give you our opinions off the cuff on that. Okay, Tuesday nights, Eric and Andrea cover true crime. All things true crimey on Tuesday nights, live on YouTube channel at 8 p.m. and then anytime afterwards on the audio. Thursdays is Last Call with Tansy. Got some really cool guests coming up. Conversations and topics so you don't have to talk about dead babies and domestics all the time at that weekend barbecue. You can talk about normal people stuff. So we give you the normal people stuff, interesting things to think about. And then today's show, like I already told you. So that is the show. That's the lay of the land, guys. What do we got? Do we have reviews? All right, let's take a look. Let's take a listen. Let's take a look. Hook and Sling, 5 stars. Great podcast to drink to. My lady and I play a drinking game where we have to take a sip every time Mike interrupts or talks over another. What the frick, man?
I'm the one that does it the most.
What the heck? Who is speaking during the episode? So far, we've been to the hospital twice for alcoholic poisoning. Come on, man.
Dude, what's super funny is like I got like 1,000 messages. Like I get so many messages about interrupting Andrea all the time. I'm not going to stop though, because I don't feel like I interrupt her. I don't care what other people say. When I want to talk, damn it.
Wow. All right. Content is grade A and relevant. Keep it up. Guts up. Giddy up. Well, I guess I'll try to fix that. I'll try to work on that. I don't know. Whatever. But thanks for the review. MYB Dirtbag. Can't stop. Won't stop. I don't know if it's a typo or if there's a reason for that. Good show. But after I came home from NAM, Mike arrested me and sprayed me with a fire hose. I had to break out of jail when I found out there was no ghost bed in the cell. He had the National Guard and everything chasing after me, and all I wanted was a burger. I feel like that was a late night somebody was just hammered and was like, "Yeah, they need a review. I'm gonna give them a review. All right."
He's like, what do I want to put in this? One, I wish I had a ghost bed. Two, I wish I had a hamburger.
Eric, you get this last one.
Band beard. It's why I breathe every day. What can be said about this growing, throbbing podcast? It's just ready to explode all over my ghost bed. Well, I don't have one yet, but I will soon. Trans Daddy's voice is exact thing I need when I'm in the bakery filling all sorts of soft things with cream and topping glazes.
Ooh,
Informative,
that's a deep track.
educational, and sexy. Giddy up and get on it.
Nice. Thanks, Band Beard.
Very sexual. A lot of
So a few undertones going on
sexual
there.
energy. A lot of sexual energy.
Feeling it. I'm feeling it. All right. Hey, listen. I don't know. Do we want to are we cranking out all the sponsors now? Are we gonna intersperse them? What do you want?
We can intersperse them. We can say like today's show is brought to you by and do one.
Well, today's show is brought to you by Ghostbed. They're the flagship sponsor, folks. They've been with us.
I love my ghost bed.
It's true. Do you get sick of us saying it? Do you get sick of us saying it?
I will not. I
you get
will
sick of us
never
saying it?
stop saying it. It has been the greatest purchase I made. in
Dude, when we were out of
2022,
town, man, and we're like, I just can't wait to get back to the ghost bed. Said it every night on vacation.
Every morning I woke up and I looked at my wife and I said, "This sucks."
And she's like,
Fuck
"What?
this
Us?
vacation.
We suck? Yeah, I suck.
Yeah.
You leaving me?"
Well, that too. Nah,
Yes, I am
love
leaving you, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the
the
ghost,
ghost
bed.
bed.
Vacation was a 10, but it didn't have a ghost bed.
Yeah, I see what you did there. A little TikTok trend. I see.
Right now, GhostBed is offering a flash sale of 40% off of GhostBed bundles where you can get a mattress and adjustable base. If you use that promo code Wolfpack, go to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack, 30% off everything you use. If you use that code, ghostbed.com/Wolfpack, mattress, $35 a month, 0 down, 0% financing. And that's if you have Lazaro Lopez credit. You can bundle it all up. You can get the ghost bed pillows, you can get the sheets, you can get the topper, the adjustable base, you can get the frames, you get all of it, baby. Use that promo code GHOSTBED. Go to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. Our favorite thing about GhostBed is that it's made in the good old USA. Yeah, man, we would be so good in the new Rocky movie. Like they should get us in the crowd at the new Rocky movie to chant USA.
It'd be easier
I
to
feel
make
like-
Rocky look all sleek too for his if he was shaving with the Manscaped stuff on his ghost.
Oh
bed.
yeah. Yeah, you can use promo code Wolfpack for Manscaped too and get that 20% off. I'm going to do a giveaway here in just a second. I think they should do another Rocky, and I think he should go back to Russia. And this time he just fucking obliterates the dude. Like this is not even a fight.
I heard
It's a round
that
one
Dolph
knockout.
Lundgren actually punched Rocky so hard
Yeah.
on a dare that he had to go to the hospital.
Was it Dolph Lundgren or was it Mr. T? I can't remember which one ever it was. He got knocked out.
Dolph
Like he got
Lundgren.
like a concut. Was it Dolph Lundgren?
I think
He
so.
got knocked out by. I know that one of them he let him. He like actually like suffered like
Yep,
a
you're
minor
right.
concussion.
If he dies,
Michael.
he dies.
It was Dolph Lundgren.
Lundgren.
What was Dolph Lundgren before he was an actor? He was something. Doesn't he have like a crazy college degree or something like that?
I have no idea.
There's something about him. It's maybe he's a scientist. Actually, look that up. Look that up. But anyway, yeah. You want to do a ghost bed giveaway? We did a thing on our Instagram.
Ghost
If you're not
bed giveaway?
I mean, not a ghost bed giveaway, a Manscaped giveaway. Psych. Almost good. Almost as
And I
good.
wanted a
Wow,
second.
that's so impressive.
I wanted a sec. That's a big letdown, dude.
Like that is a huge letdown.
Wow, you really
Never mind, fuck
set
the
yourself
giveaway.
up for failure there because now everybody's like, well, shit, Manscaped sucks.
Yeah.
I wanted a ghost bed.
A ghost
Now,
bed.
that would be something. We should do a ghost bed giveaway. If we had enough money to buy a ghost bed to give it away, we would.
Maybe around Christmas time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's just
Try
Have fun
something
with that.
maybe. I don't know. Let's
I'm
try.
not
See what
contributing.
we can do. I'll call Rich. I'll call Rich at Ghost Bed and see what he wants to do.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we could probably give away like some pillows or something because like even the Ghost Bed pillows.
Failure to provide. So true.
Dolph Lundgren, according to Jill Olson in the chats, has a master's degree in chemical engineering. See, I knew it was something. I knew it was something smarter than.
So does the guy who
I've
gets
ever
me
done.
weed.
But,
It's me.
So is the guy that gets me blue chews. Anyway, I do have a Manscaped giveaway. We have an Instagram page. It's called Failure to Stop. If you want to go to it and follow it, you can get in on all this action too. So on this one, I did like a little funny reel with Drew Breezy, who was filling in for Mike last week. And if you follow the reel, there's a Manscaped giveaway at the end of it, contest giveaway. And I said, all you have to do is like and follow us and then tag a friend. And if you do that, you can be entered to win this thing. So without further ado, really quick, Elijah, give me a letter of the alphabet, and then I'm going to choose the first letter, the first name that I see that starts with that letter on our Instagram page. That's an official way to do a contest, right?
With M.
You want to go with M? Okay. M is a nice letter. Let's see who. Let me go down to M's here. We've got MX Jackie 219. MX Jackie, Motocross Jackie 219. You are going to get a Manscaped 4.0 package. Listen, I'm going to do one next week too. So we'll have this again. We'll do another thing. So follow us on the Instagram. She is, but if she's a motocross chick, she probably needs to shave that up. Probably needs to shape up, ship out. Those motocross chicks can be, and I'm guessing that's what MX stands for.
No,
Maybe that's what Manscaped chick.
I just briefly clicked on her thing and I see some motocross shit.
She's knocking down that forest. It's all right.
Well, MX Jackie, I'll send you a PM, a DM, a private message, a direct message, whatever it is. And
Instant message. I am old school AOL days.
We'll give it an instant message. So congratulations.
Drew Breezy's here in the chat. Oh my gosh.
And so is Brittany Faulkner.
But Drew Breezy, oh my gosh.
Breezy. Speaking of, you said, speaking of last call, we've got Ashley from 60 Days In coming on. I don't know if that's this week or next week.
Noise.
One of those.
There's a new season of 60 Days In out, so she's got lots to say, I'm sure.
I'm gonna check it out.
All right.
You got anything else? I like your shirt.
Thanks, man. It's like Mickey Mouse out killing fools.
I like it.
Hopped up on coffee. All right. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
What do we got?
Do it.
Talk to me about Robert Tellis.
Ooh, golly. You know what? It's kind of in like an overreaching, like an overwhelming theme that we have going on here, like lately, of just like, I don't know if it's like, you know, the FBI and the politicians. It's just the culture of politics, the culture.
It's at a breaking point, bro.
The elite is just like, you know, we always want to talk about police culture and that we need to reform police culture and we need to defund police. Like, have you seen the shit that politicians are doing? Like going all the way back for the January 6th thing where Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer just completely disregard anything that the chief or the FBI want to do for safety for the thing. And they won't give them any extra help, which leads to this quote unquote insurrection that happens. And then they force the chief to resign, even though it was 100% Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi's fault. That happens, which is, you know, like if you want to get into conspiracies and things like that, why would you not allow them after all the intel that they had 3 weeks prior to this? Why wouldn't you give them the assets they need to protect the thing? Unless you just frankly wanted something to happen. Then we have the whole Project Veritas raid, which is a media organization that's unprecedented. No search warrant has ever been served on a media company, much less all the homes of the media companies, and having all of their documents, cell phones, everything seized. Then we have the, of course, then we have the indictments for the Ashley Biden diary. Then we have the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago, which is kind of an unprecedented kind of thing. We have the FBI.
I've got the FBI in my home. Beautiful Mar-a-Lago. Anyway.
And then we've got the Fed napping, the FBI sponsored. Well, by the way, these are all episodes that we've already done. So you can go back and listen to all these. We have the Hunter Biden laptop. I mean, it's just like, it just doesn't stop. None of this is going away. And, you know, people are getting Hillary Clinton. Now it's just brazenly. Like now they're not even getting Hillary Clinton. Now there's just like straight.
Why is that lady
murder.
from Naked Gun on the screen?
Oh, yeah. And then the Queen died. Oh, and
it's
other
all
news.
connected.
The Queen dies. If she dies, she dies. Were you a fan of the Queen?
No.
Big fan of the Queen?
I'm a fan of the fact that we don't have a queen since like the 1700s.
Yeah. I celebrate that with you. Celebrate that with
Screw
you.
that lady.
Betty
Bye.
White outlived the queen. It's just USA wins forever.
That's a strange race because it's not like Betty White was the like a queen or something. Like
She was
I
the
feel
queen
like
of entertainment. You take that back.
Yeah,
She's my queen.
Oh gosh. But this is this is kind of the culture of politics. I
Dude,
don't know.
The culture of politics or what is now politics is unavoidable. So I see like politics is a word essentially to me is how humans interact with each other in a society. Politics is not something like people like don't bring up politics. Listen, politics is unavoidable. Everyone lives in the culture of politics. Like it's part of how humans interact. Period.
Sure.
But our current political culture is hurtling towards oblivion. And at this point, like I'm going to sound like crazy conspiracy theorist. I'm 100% in favor of a global elite cabal that's running everything. I don't like people can call me crazy all you want. I just believe it now.
I mean, I think there's just because like there is like a ramping up.
I think there's a political elite. I think it's through the World Economic Forum. I think that they're running shit, and that's just the way it is. I believe it.
And the frogs are all being turned gay.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
I'm just kidding.
I believe it.
No, I do like listen. I
At this point, what else?
I believe anything. I
It's
believe
all out in
anything.
front.
I just feel like the ruling elite just they've created an environment where they think they can get away with anything, and now these like lesser politicians
can
are
get
really
away with
nobodies.
They do
Think that they can get away with it. I mean, look at the sheriff for Wake County, Gerald Baker. I mean, this guy, one of his officers gets killed. It takes him 2 hours to respond to a dead officer on the side of the road, which is he comes from 4 hours. It takes him 4 hours to get to the scene, but tells everybody that they have to hold the scene and they can't do anything. So if they leave the body uncovered, they can't pull dash cam. They can't pull body cam. They won't notify. They didn't put out a bolo that night at all. It takes them 4 hours to get there. Two high-ranking individuals end up getting in a fight in the field because one wants to just like say, screw the sheriff, let's get this investigation going. The other one's like, we can't just do that. They have a verbal altercation. There's complete chaos. Then there's a funeral. They don't want the sheriff at the funeral. He goes to the funeral anyway, and they don't want them to like present. It's just chaos. At the end of the funeral, he ends up demoting anybody that was close to Ned and his family, or that put anything on Facebook. So he like demoted like tons of like canine officers. I think they only have like one working canine. I mean, the emails and stuff that I've been getting, I haven't gone through them to verify what's what, but it just seems like absolute chaos. But he lost in the primaries, and now he's trying to do this whole, I'm going to get back at everybody because I lost in the primaries. And they think that that's kind of, why it took him 4 hours to respond, because he just doesn't care anymore. And it's almost a similar situation to this guy where he loses the primaries, but instead of just not giving a fuck, he goes out and murders the guy who he blames to be it. But
these politicians, man, it's like, well, why does the FBI have photos that they are leaked of the raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago, and we have no leaked photos of the raid on Epstein?
Right. Yes, that's
Why?
a great question.
Why? It's stupid. It's the reason why is because all of the politicians involved, there's only one logical conclusion to deduce from this, and that is they are all involved.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
just turn the show off. We're done. I feel like we can't really give you anything better than that.
The
was powerful.
wise thing to do is to go stock up on ammo and be ready. I don't know. I don't know anymore, dude. I'm at a loss because we keep, the midterm elections will be really interesting to see because we keep putting these turds in power. We keep giving it to them because we're too comfortable. We choose comfort over conviction. That's just it. We're a flaccid culture, and we deserve every bit of the complete obliteration that this country is going to go through in the next 5 to 10 years. We will not be a superpower. We are going to sink into a vast depressive state as a nation.
Unless one man.
No, there's no
one
unless.
goal. Oh,
That's
two
happening.
men, one podcast, change the world.
Now God's judgment's coming. It ain't going to be pretty.
We're covering we have two murders this week that made headline news. One we'll cover on Night Shift, but two of them where the person was supposed to be in jail for murder but had been let out far too early. One guy had only did 1 year in prison,
It's part of the
on
plan,
a 3-year
man.
term, and at first it was a first-degree murder charge that got reduced to I don't know, like aggravated assault. So he's supposed to do 3 years. He ends up doing 1 year and then goes out and just goes on a rando shooting live on Facebook. It's a very, you're right. It's a very odd time. Everything is, you got cops that accidentally kill somebody, which should go to jail because you accidentally killed somebody, but they're going to jail for 22 years. We have somebody who purposefully killed somebody and they're going to jail for 1 year.
Or in Illinois,
bizarre.
if you do second-degree murder, it's a non-detainable offense now. You can get cited and released. You're booked and released.
For murder?
Yeah.
What?
Kidnapping.
What's that? Oh, that's the post that you put on your Facebook.
Yeah. You think it's like
God.
Babylon Bee or something, or satire or whatever. No. It's entirely real. You can actually watch people discussing this. It took them all of about 45 minutes to argue this and pass this into law. It's part of the plan, man.
You're right. I mean,
The plan is to weaken law enforcement culture and enforcement so much that there is so much chaos. They create the problem and then pretend to have the solution to the problem that they created.
And the solution is going to be like a federal law enforcement,
Yeah,
like a
of
federal,
course.
yeah.
They're freaking
which is
fascist,
the
dude.
ramping up of the IRS and
the Biden's nonsensical random Hitler speech. And
gosh, dude, let's talk about that really quick. How bizarre.
We're off track. I said we were talking about
No, I know. Listen, it's all good, but like, I mean, there was a lot of things to uncover this week. I think we should uncover them all today and break it all down because it is going to come to play in this murder because it's an accumulation of all this political climate that is just absolutely
when you
out
call
of
your
control.
political rivals all threats to democracy.
Yes.
Anybody that didn't vote for you basically is a threat to democracy.
Do you think it's
kind
odd?
of nonsense is this?
Do you think it's odd that like 2 weeks ago when somebody kind of leaked to us, we're an FBI member, and as I said, I don't think everybody in the FBI is I think the FBI as a whole is very corrupt, but I don't think FBI agents on an individual basis are corrupt. But one of them whistleblower leaked the new, it was marked, I guess, confidential, but the domestic terrorist watch list symbols. And this was like 3 weeks ago. Remember those symbols were the Betsy Ross flag, the Don't Tread on Me flag, the Punisher skull, the Spartan helmet. So that means if I go to a Spartan race and I wear like a little Spartan shield helmet from a Spartan race, am I a domestic?
Yes.
Is that a symbol of domestic terrorism? Yes. Like it's crazy.
Too much aggression.
If I was in CAG and I deployed to Iraq in 2003 and I used the mark of the Punisher skull, am I a domestic terrorist?
And then, man, holy crap, you're going to get me going. I'm getting fired up.
Let's go. Let's go. Fire it up, baby.
Dude.
It's Friday.
And then that senile old wrinkled up, uncirced piece of skin that is occupying the Oval Office, that guy says, oh, well, you're going to need you're going to go against our F-15s and stuff like that if you ever think you're going to take over the government. Hey, dumbass. How do you say that at the same time as some dude in a Viking helmet is walking in and there's some old lady waving at the camera in the cap? You think we need F-15s or whatever to go against the government when we just traipsed in while you opened the gates for us and then called it an insurrection? Shut your mouth, old man.
Dude, a bunch of like old, like a bunch of like older than fighting age males, because all the fighting age males were killed in other wars. We have an entire third world country, Afghanistan, that whooped up. Well, I don't say they whooped our ass for 20 years, but they held their ground for 20 years. We didn't beat them with F-15s, and they didn't even have rifles. So, I mean, I don't know. But that speech was very bizarro. Bro. Like who thought it was a good idea to make the background like that with him raising his fist? I mean, like,
what about CNN changing the color gradually to be a different color because they knew how bad it looked?
Because, yeah, and like how is that for like truthful
journalism? Stick the
journalism?
military behind you, two two Marines behind you with a red draped background. It's like, did he read a comic book about Joseph Stalin and then be like, that's what I should do because that looks cool? What is going on? Who is handling this guy? What retard is deciding this is a good thing to do randomly on like a Tuesday night in Philadelphia? You morons.
Yeah. It did
While
look like
calling the rest of the country semi-fascist? You freaking idiots. Stop voting for this bullshit. Stop. It's like a solvable problem. Stop caring more about your stupid Netflix and vote for people that aren't idiots.
Yeah, but I think most of the country
did. It's like a fixable problem.
I think most of the people did vote for somebody else. And then the tyrants that be were like, nope, you know what? We're going to give you who we want. And it's going to be
People
Joe
downstairs
Biden.
at my office are probably like, what is going on with Mike today?
You're like stomping on the floor.
Bro.
That did get you fired up, dude.
It's like, ridiculous how in your face it is. It's not even like they're not even trying to hide the agenda. They're just it's communism in plain sight. It's not just a communist political agenda. They are pedophiles. They're trying to normalize pedophilia.
100%.
They are perverted, psychotic, evil people that we have allowed because of our own preferences for comfort to take positions of influence and authority and power. They are getting rich off of being in Congress. They have hedged the whole thing. The game is rigged. It is so obvious. It's not even up for debate. It's anecdotal at this point. People are like, well, can you prove that I don't need to prove anything. It's just pointing at it. You just go, just look at it. It's anecdotal evidence at this point. It's just mind-numbing that it's even a discussion. It's mind-numbing. They're evil people that want to harm your children. They're saying it is not okay to smoke a cigarette until you're 21, but it is okay to decide that you're another gender at 4. Wake up. Wake up, people, because if you support this nonsense, you need to be obliterated off the face of the planet.
Yeah, let me smoke cigarettes.
Eliminate this, man. This is nuts, dude. None of this has to do. We're 30 minutes in.
I mean,
we haven't made sense of Robert Tellis at all.
Well, I think this all makes sense with Robert Tellis, to be honest with you, because Robert Tellis is he thinks he's part of this ruling elite political climate. He sees everybody else getting away with it. He sees the Epstein shit getting away with it. He sees the Donald Trump stuff getting away with it, the Russia collusion stuff getting away with it, the Ukraine Burisma deals, Hunter Biden getting away with it, the laptop getting away with it, the Ashley Biden, my dad's a pedophile, getting away with it. All of these things, man. Everybody else is getting away with it. Why can't I, Robert Tillis, clerk of county court, elected official? Why can't I get away with it? Robert,
why does James O'Keefe get raided? Why does Trump get raided? And listen, I'm going to be really, really clear. James O'Keefe, I mean, I think that he does excellent journalistic work. I don't know the guy. He could be a jerk for all I know. I don't know. Trump, I am not a personal fan of Trump. I don't think he is a phenomenal moral example. Okay. So I'm not going all in on Trump, but why does he get to be raided? Why has Hunter not been raided? Why? I just don't. Why has Biden not been raided? They have had to admit that the diarrhea is real. Ashley Biden has written documentation saying, I took inappropriate showers and was over-sexualized by my father. Why isn't he raided? What? Meanwhile, the guy that did that has a red background, pounding on a podium, telling you that if you didn't vote for him, you're a threat to democracy. It's wacky, dude. It's bizarro world. And it's happening all right in front of us. I don't know. It's nuts, dude.
It is. It is nuts, and I think it's coming to a boiling point, right? I think that
Austin DiTullio says they were actually raided. What are you on crack? Austin, did you literally? Are you with Hunter right now?
You said weren't.
Oh, so I'm laughing.
I'm about ready to go. I'm gonna crawl through the screen and punch Austin in the nuts. Like, what are you talking about?
Are you on crack? What if he was like, yeah, actually, I am on crack right now. I'm on a fucking 3-day bender. I wanted to tune in your show. Look, I'm not happy about it, but I really love your show. I'm trying to get on the right path. And I'm on crack right now. And I accidentally wrote were instead of weren't. I apologize. Now I'm going to go cut myself.
Bro.
Oh,
let's just change the whole show. 4 times a week, it's just ranting.
Dude, listen, I listened to louder.
Dude, look like you've aged like 12 years.
I'm trying to time travel back in time to prevent all of this from ever happening.
I've been there. I've been to the future.
Austin's like, damn, bro. I was about to go
Austin,
straight scorched earth on Austin.
Austin just
never joined.
I was going to dedicate social media bandwidth for a week to Austin just for roasting his life.
Austin's that dude from Chicago that like tried to catch the foul ball, like that was going out like going into the stands, and he caught it and then like became like the most hated human being on the planet Earth, and he had to go on like the witness protection program for like 15 years. That's gonna be
that's what one typo would do to you, Austin.
Yeah, like the whole Wolfpack.
They're like how important grammar is to society.
They're trying to dox him like right now. They're like trying to figure out where Austin lives, like what his real name is.
The savior.
Oh, but it says Austin almost died. Well, Robert Tillis, getting back somewhat. I mean, I don't think we've actually gone off topic at all. So, but Robert Tillis is a duly elected Democrat Clark County public administrator. Some news sources think it's important to say Democrat. Some don't. I would just say that if it was a Republican, they would all be using it. I don't know. But Rob's primary focus.
This is typical behavior of a GOP guy. Yeah.
Well, the crazy thing, if it was a Republican, I think it would be like a much bigger deal than it is. Just like if a Republican party hired a bunch of FBI agents to then infiltrate 3 dum-dums. So you have 4 FBI agents and 3 dum-dums to then plan a kidnapping that never would have happened without the FBI's influence.
Yeah.
Like it would be like the end of the Republican Party. Like I think even other Republicans would be like, damn, that's kind of took that a little too far. That's pretty fucked up. And then a jury acquits them. And then the government says, no. We're going to call a mistrial because 3 people are gun owners. And so they're biased, and we're going to do another trial. And then they're going to lose that trial and they're all going to go to jail. Makes 0 sense. But Rob Tillis, regardless, is a Democrat, and he's a duly elected Clark County public administrator. And this is what the website of the Clerk of County Courts in Nevada has to say on his About Me page. It says Rob's primary focus is to ensure that the CCPA serves the community as best as possible. Prior to his election, Rob Tillis was the principal and founder of a Las Vegas law firm that focused primarily on estate planning, probate matters. Robert has been a Clerk of County resident for over 20 years. He is happily married and a father of 3 wonderful children. He is a graduate of UNLV's Boyd School of Law, where he participated in a number of organizations and competitions that honed his legal advocacy skills and knowledge. Rob has received awards for both his professional work and community work in Las Vegas. None of this is true, by the way. Well, I mean, maybe some of the awards and stuff are true. Happily married, absolutely not, because this whole thing is going to start because he's boinking somebody else that works in the Clerk of County Court's office. Matter of fact, the girl that he's with is allegedly with is going to be Roberta Lee Kennett is her name, and I'll show you a quick picture of her. So here's the alleged affair. Well, one, let me just show you a picture for those of you who are listening. Let me show you a picture of old Robert, who's happily married. Does he look like a happily married man to you, Mike?
Looks like he looks cooked dinner the wrong way.
He looks like you when you're talking about current politics.
That's me at the end of today's rant.
He looks just like you. I thought I had a picture of old homegirl on here, but I guess I don't. But anyway, he and this female. So the victim in this case is Jeff Gurman. And we'll talk a little bit about Jeff Gurman. I'll give you kind of like his bio. But Jeff Gurman was a pretty notable and pretty famous journalist. He is a famous journalist. He worked for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He's been in the journalism game for like over 30 years. And one of his big hit pieces was in the 90s when he went after the mob. And he actually went after a mobster named Fat Herbie. And so he goes hard in the mob, which leads to some Herbie. I'm Fat Herbie. Hey. He was a hard news guy. Did like real journalism, and that's what he does. Like his whole thing is just breaking cases wide open. So he had a true crime podcast before they even had true crime podcasts. He wrote a true crime book all about Las Vegas mafia murders, and he was like getting super deep. And there was a time when they thought he should probably be a little bit more careful, because if he keeps fucking around with the mob so much, writing these books and going after Fat Herbie and things like that, that maybe the mob would take a hit out on him. But they didn't, because he's a journalist. And there's kind of like it's like when the quarterback wears like a red jersey at practice, you just don't fucking hit him. You know what I mean? So journalism journalists kind of wear that same kind of cloak. But he worked on a bunch of other stories. One of the big stories that he was currently working on and has been working on for a while was the mass shooting in Vegas, on the Vegas Strip during the concert. And he was actually the first one to point out that the first round that the guy fired was actually at those gas tanks, which were completely unprotected, and they made a bunch of new policies about the gas thing. He also went hard on Las Vegas, which is actually going to lead to a kind of a squad that took place in this case. But he, said that there wasn't really any kind of training, mass training to go after a killer like what happened at that mass shooting. And there was like a lot of things that they learned from the mass shooting, a lot of things that he kind of disclosed in his journalistic outtakes of what happened there. And so that led to a crime team that Las Vegas put together, which is called the Major Violations Section. The Major Violation, and they're known as Nevada's Posse. And literally their mantra and their slogan is 4 men in shadows on horseback that look like a posse from Tombstone.
Nice.
So they now that unit, the Major Violations Section, known as the MVS, there is a tactical surveillance and apprehension unit. Did you have something like that where you worked in Detroit?
Well,
did you guys have like
area? I didn't work for Detroit proper, but
sorry.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear. I don't want people to think that I'm like saying that I work somewhere I didn't. Yeah, I mean they have different TAC units or whatever, but nothing like a major violator. I mean Detroit has like a major crimes type.
Well, so this is different than major. This is different than major crimes. I looked it up because I think they do have a major crimes unit, but the MVS, which, okay, so like the reason why they're going to call it MVS is because they don't want to like allude to what it really is. And that's like Raleigh's unit is called TERU. And I don't even know what TERU, it's like, I don't even know what TERU stand for, but their whole job in life is they're the ones that wear like the Time Warner Cable jumpsuits, and they go up on poles and put in pole cameras, or they GPS cars, but they're always playing clothes. Like you don't even know, like most of the guys on the TERU unit, I've never seen
TERU. It's technology.
Yes, there
stuff.
It is.
Yeah, something to do with like tech type things. They're the ones that are like enhance, like, and they're using footage and getting they're the ones that like go back to like street cams and try to find and piece together evidence that way and that kind of stuff.
Yes, and that's from what I've gathered. That's what this MVS section of Nevada Metro Police has. That's what they do. Their primary mission is to locate and survey suspects under investigation. And if appropriate, they'll usually apprehend them. I guarantee you those guys probably don't do any of the apprehension. It's probably plainclothes officers that do that apprehension. I guess they can. They obviously can because they're sworn law enforcement officers. But Jeff, he's the one that kind of like got a lot of this attention by being a journalist. By the way, his podcast is called Mobbed Up, and he did all the journalistic research for Mobbed Up, the fight for Vegas. So he's just done a lot. He's done a lot of he's investigated other politicians in the area that were taking funds and going on these lavish trips, and he exposed them. And on this particular occasion, he's been doing this kind of investigative work for like 30 years. And he went after like a national, like a white national white supremacy group, like in Nevada a while back too. And that was kind of a thing where they, thought he should be careful because it was a large group. And, anyway, the guy's always had his hands in like very dangerous things, but nobody's ever really come after him. And he seems like a pretty good guy. I've read a lot of this stuff and the things. He feels like a very fair journalist, actually. Like a real, like the old school journalist where he's like, I get a complaint and then I'm going to go and like interview people and, like real journalism.
Yeah.
That's this guy. He's a real life journalist, like investigator. Matter of fact, in this case, the FBI used a lot of his investigation, not the FBI, the Las Vegas Metro Police used his investigations to solve his own crime. But anyway, so he gets this report about this politician, Robert Tellis, who has created such a hostile work environment. He's been known as being a huge bully in the clerk's office, that one of the employees for the city decides that he is so sick of certain people getting unfair treatment that he's going to start video recording kind of everything this guy does. And he catches Robert in the back seat boinking this girl, Roberta Lee. Now I've watched the video. Definitely looks like they're probably doing that. Now maybe they weren't though. Maybe they weren't boinking. Maybe they weren't shagging. Maybe they were in the back seat playing some more.
The horizontal mambo.
But why take your car, your SUV, into a
Speaking of the horizontal
garage?
mambo, you look like I've had 4 beers and I take you home, buddy.
Super Nintendo Zelda game.
This is Failure to Stop Nintendo Edition. Original 8-bit. All right, so he's boinking someone in the back seat.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly. I mean, I think, of course, right now they're all like saying, he denies it. He says that, that this was preposterous and that there's no way. I watched the video. They're definitely in the back seat in a parking garage while they're supposed to unwork. She gets out. She does massive adjustments to her work skirt or dress or whatever you call that piece of female clothing that she's wearing. And she adjusts everything and then, looks at herself, makes sure she's up before they walk away and separate from each other. So, I mean, I don't know if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's probably a fucking duck, but perception is not reality. Maybe they're back there creating a surprise party and her pantyhose fell down. I don't fucking know, but I'm going to go with
wear pantyhose. Is that a thing?
My wife
nylons, pantyhose.
Yeah, she wears pantyhose. I don't think we call them pantyhose though. I think she calls them leggings.
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I remember growing up, it was like nylons, pantyhose.
I go as far as like putting my wife's panties. I only just wear my wife's panties. I don't wear her pantyhose. I just wear the panties. I only do that sometimes.
Do you
make really horny?
Moist.
Oh, gross, dude. Yeah, I do. They make me moist. They smell funny after I wear them. But anyway, so Robert Tillis, this guy, he breaks the story about all of this, and it leads to him losing the primaries last in May. So he loses the primaries in May, or actually it was June 14th that he loses. On June 18th, he puts out some tweets. This was his tweet. Wife hears wrestling in the trash. Honey, is there a wild animal in the trash? Me, no, dear. It looks like it's just Jeff Gurman going through our trash for his 4th story on me. So he's like super butthurt that he got exposed for being a cheater, a bully, and everybody in his office absolutely hating him and creating a hostile work environment. On June 24th, Tellis concedes the primary election. July 1st, he comes out and gives like an update on his website, on the website page, that he refers to the journalism as a fabricated scandal, and that's what causes him to lose the primaries on September 4th. So here's where the investigation starts. So this guy, Robert Tillis, and I'm going to go ahead and put up this picture for our live viewers. This was all found by the major violations section. So they put all this together on September 4th after this murder here. So they get this footage of this man who was wearing
a sunburn at the beach.
Exactly. So this is like Las Vegas, hot boy summer, like straight up scorching hot weather. And he is wearing a bright orange construction, long sleeve, reflective, sunburn proof shirt with baggy blue khaki pants that are way too big and not hemmed, little white Nike shoes, and then one of those big giant, I call them Mexican hats, because I wear them and I buy it from the Mexican store, but it's those big giant straw hats that are not Vietnamese, but they're Mexicans typically wear them. That's the only way I can describe that hat. Big giant Mexican straw hat. And and then he's got a blue bag, and then he's wearing black gloves, and he's walking up and down the street on Friday morning prior to this murder. And he's walking up and down the street in front of Jeff German's house. So he walks up and down the house at 11:18. He goes up to the house, knocks on the door, and through multiple. So like, this is an affluent neighborhood. This is a nice neighborhood. So everybody's going to have those Ring doorbells. So I haven't seen the evidence because they haven't put it out because this all just happened. But like, they were able to take like his car, where his car came, where he walked from. So they got a picture of the car, the picture of where he walked from, the picture of him going to the door and getting German to come out. They go around the side of the house for some reason. At that point, Robert is going to mount Jeff and then stab him 7 times, fatally stabbing him 7 times.
Yikes.
And then he's going to walk away, get back in his car, and then he's going to drive off.
Allegedly.
Now, that on September 4th, Las Vegas Metro PD say that they discover the body of the victim here, and it's right outside his home on Broad Circle. On September 6th. So this is like 2 days later, but like, don't get so caught up on the date because this happened. They find the body at noon. So like, this is probably by like super early in the morning on 6. So it's probably still like less than 24 hours because all these things, they take a lot of time, right? Like, we find the body at noon. Well, now we've got to start. Now you've got to hold the scene and we've got to wait for detectives to get there, which probably is going to take 30 to 45 minutes for the detectives to get there. Once the detectives get there and they realize that they have a body that's definitely been murdered, they're going to expand the crime scene. And they're going to start combing for evidence directly related to the crime scene to see exactly what what they're working with. And that's probably going to take, what would you say, like another hour, 2 hours? What was it for your department?
I mean, it just depends. And I guess it depends on what kind of evidence is there, how fast things can or can't move, like.
I would say like at the fastest though.
Yeah,
like
I mean, like
2
if
hours?
something is super obvious, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds about right.
Like, it's like, it's not like the movies where they just go on, they're like, it's a murder and we've got suspect information. No, it's like, we've got a murder. Okay, let's get a crime scene set up. Let's go ahead and start combing the grass for evidence. Let's get the cameras up. Let's get the cameras out. Let's get a picture of the body. Let's get the body covered up. Let's do all the things. Let's get a command post set up. All the things that got to happen. And then you've got your police officers who are canvassing. Now you've got this MSV team who's going to go by and start collecting all this.
Call in the mounted unit.
Yeah, call in
the
posse. And so within the next like 4
it's
to 5,
CSI.
6, 7
it's
hours,
like, this looks like a job for the posse.
Yeah,
that's how
they get all of this.
Do that again. You said.
Hold
on, I got to do my CSI again. This looks like a job for the posse. Yeah, that's what happened. Actual footage.
Actual footage.
We have
so
to do
he
something
goes
because the viewers can only see me right now, so I have to entertain them.
And I was trying to think of like who, like what was it, like one of the bald ones that always came up with like the really stupid fucking lines, but I couldn't think of one right now. But
I don't know.
I was gonna try to drop one of those, but I couldn't drop it for you.
Usually they're just shooting people.
But they put together all the evidence from these ring footage cameras, from pole cams, from all the things that they got, and they released a video to the public And this is what's in the video. This is a maroon Yukon Denali that the man is going to exit. He's going to park it and then go canvas
it
this
looks like you
neighborhood
can see
walking around.
that vest in the driver's seat.
Absolutely, you can see the vest in the driver's seat. And this is like a very identifiable Yukon GMC Denali. Like the guy driving this in his clothes does not match the car, which I know is like judgmental and ridiculous, but come on, like it's a very government issued looking Yukon Denali, chromed out everything, probably got the leather interior, the black leather seats and the whole 9 yards. And so they find that. They release the picture of homeboy walking up and down the street, and all of a sudden, of course, they get a lead very quickly. And it's not even a lead from people. It's a lead because they are able to go through that. They say the lead comes in that, hey, FYI, I work at the city clerk's office, and Robert Tillis and Jeff have had this like feud going on, and that looks like Robert's vehicle. So this mounted Las Vegas unit goes and starts pulling more cams from that neighborhood that Robert lives in. And so they obviously the murder happens at around 11:45, just right after 12 noon. The Yukon drives right up and pulls into the garage at Robert's house. So they've got a great timeline. They've got great pictures of the video. And by the way, yes, the vehicle that Rob drives is a maroon GMC Yukon Denali with chrome handles, door handles with chrome lining all over the thing, and the chrome wheels. So again, a very identifiable GMC Yukon Denali. They name him as the number one suspect. Now the news gets word of this, and they're going to pounce down on Robert Tellis's home to see like, hey, why are the cops questioning you? Because originally what happens is they get this information. They've got a great timeline, and Robert voluntarily goes down to the station to answer questions. Now he's not under arrest yet. He's just been detained. And this is going to be important, right? Because this happened in the case with George Floyd, where Derek Chauvin is brought into the station and he's questioned, and then he's released, and then he's rearrested. But remember how everybody just lost their fucking mind and is like, oh, this would never happen, and blah, blah. It happens every time because detained does not mean arrested. It's exactly how it works all the time, right?
Yes.
So that's how it's supposed to go. Just because you got a lot of evidence, you got to play by the book. And the DA in this articulates it perfectly. And I challenge you to go through YouTube and look at the DA and what he has to say about this, because he answers all the questions very good on this murder. They release him from the police station. All the journalists are waiting at the house. This is how homeboy comes back to the house. Boom. Dress in a full hazmat outfit. Yeah.
Oh, that's after the
It's
police
still
station,
unexplained. Right? Yeah, but nobody knows why he is wearing a full hazmat suit.
Maybe they took his clothes.
Yeah, we haven't got an explanation for that yet.
I would say
but
that
he goes
took his
like,
clothes and gave him that suit.
Yeah, because he's wearing flip-flops.
If we took people's clothes at the jail after a crime, we gave them that suit right there.
Okay, perfect. Well, there you go.
That's my best guess. Right.
No, that's a great. I didn't think about that, but I was like, man, why is he coming back to his house in a hazmat suit? But while the police were there, they're going to do a search warrant. Now, Robert Tillis is not very smart. Robert, this is what they find in his trash.
Oh my gosh.
This is how he disposes the evidence. He cuts.
He looks like Megalomine too, like, or whatever. Is that Megamind? Yes. Yeah, Megamind. That's what he looks like in that photo too. He's got a big head, big brain. Look at the brains on Robert. Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm a politician. These dumb policemen aren't going to stop me. He cuts up this hat with a pair of scissors. It's hilariously cut up. Go to our YouTube channel,
court, dude.
No, like it's so fucking stupid. And he cuts up his Nike shoes as well. He cuts the shoes up and throws them away. So they gather all this blood on the shoes that they find. Come back to Jeff. The SWAT team that raided. And so, by the way, he did barricade himself for a short time while they tried to serve the warrant for his arrest, which he gave himself superficial cuts to his wrist. And they took him to a hospital where he was cleared and taken to jail very quickly.
Oh, he tried to he tried to get out of. He got incarceritis.
Yes, he got the felony flu.
Yeah, he needed to try to kill himself with very superficial cuts that would never kill anybody.
Which is very similar to the Murdoch murders, which we covered on Night Shift in a 3-part series with Andre Eblate. Yeah, same play out of the same playbook. So the SWAT team notices that he has defensive claw marks on his arms and his hands, which they're going to run. They just put a picture of Robert next to Megamind and 100% exact. And we'll actually, Elijah, could you put those two together and we'll put that up on our Instagrammies later?
Yep.
And our Facebooks. That would be really funny. So yeah, because this guy obviously does not outsmart the police in this case. They pull DNA from his fingernails and everything else. And with DNA evidence matching, they're more likely than not, this is the murderer who just murdered Jeff. And yesterday they brought him to the courthouse where they gave him a no bail and a no bond. So he is in jail awaiting whatever's next, which I guess would be like the official charge. Now, there is speculation at this point whether they're going to go with first-degree murder or second-degree murder. I think this is first-degree murder all the time. But there's a lot of arguments
all day long.
But there's a lot of arguments saying that this is why he's going to get off, because they're going to go with some bullshit charge. Like they have a slam dunk second degree, but they're going to try for the first degree and they're going to lose it all. And this guy's going to get out. And then they start listing out these
second degree when he shows up intentionally with wearing what he wore and all that stuff. Like you can't call that like in the heat of the moment.
No.
And
it's like it's like months after he lost the primary election. But stabbing is a very personal crime, and they've that's, as a law enforcement officer, that like when somebody gets stabbed, if it's outside of just like a fist fight that you're losing, if it's a murder by knife, it is a passionate crime, but it's a very personal crime. And I think Robert wanted Jeff to know that he was fucking killing him and he was going to stab him to death on the side of his house. Don't fuck with me, Jeff. Like you fucked with the wrong guy. And it's, again, I blame this a lot on the political climate. These politicians more often than not, or not more often than not, but more oftenly are now getting into office and bullying, harassing. And it's just becoming like a very prevalent thing. It's like Parks and Recreation, the show, they make fun of it. The reason why I don't like watching Parks and Rec, even though it's one of my favorite comedies, is because I've been working with local government now, building my own distillery and doing things.
They think they're so amazingly powerful.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, Parks and Rec is like super true. Like it's all bullying. It's all tit for tat. It's all, you didn't want to do this for me, so I'm not going to do it for you. It's talking behind people's back. It's, and none of it's for the good of the people. None of it's helping or benefiting, your town that you live in. So, and this is just where that culture war is kind of coming to a head and boiling over. And it's just guys just very sloppy about it. He could be a little bit more Hillary Clinton about it and discreet. Should have hired a homeless guy to do it. But here's a picture of Robert and Jeff. I don't know. Robert looks like a villain to me, though. Doesn't he just look like a bad character?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to kill you later, dickhead. Yeah, dude. It's so spot on. Oh, it's so spot on. But, great job to Las Vegas investigators, Las Vegas Metro Police for, getting on top of this extremely fast and closing it. I mean, that's pretty damn fast to, find a body, charge a politician, have a politician behind bars. And I'm glad it's getting the news that it needs to get, because as I was researching this, I found several other politicians. Now there was an article about why they are afraid of the first degree murder. And it's because they were showing like all these other politicians in Las Vegas in the last 5 to 10 years that have been charged with stealing like $240,000 to go gamble with. And then all they had to do was complete gambling addiction rehab. And then they got their office back. These politicians that used all this money to go and on these like elusive tracks, all they had to do was pay back the money that they took, to pay on these tracks, and they get to sit back in their office. So there's a lot of corruption, I guess, going on in Las Vegas. small time politics, and it makes you wonder. It's like, well, if that's happening in Las Vegas, what's happening in Atlanta, what's happening in Detroit, what's happening in Jacksonville, what's happening in my
Same
own
thing
town
everywhere.
And it is the same thing everywhere. And I think, if anything, we should all be more concerned with local politics as well as big politics. But I think we should all be bringing
way
awareness.
you get to big politics is from local politics. If we all took the local politics more seriously and were more involved at our local level, that's that. When I was screaming uncontrollably earlier, when I said this is fixable, it is by personal responsibility and getting involved at a local level somehow in the community. That's the way out, man.
Yeah, and I hope, a lot of cops, we're all lazy. Like when, we go to court and we do the family stuff, we do the gym stuff, and we don't want to do the local thing. But like, you got to support your cops that are into that. And I was guilty of not doing that when I was a cop. But, there are certain cops that love to get involved with the unions and lead the unions and whatever. And that's why these things are kind of important, man, because, Ned died here in Wake County. And very much so was politics contributed to his death. It 100% contributed to his death.
Mm-hmm.
They're short staffed. They're understaffed. He would have never been alone. He would not have been afraid to call for a check-in on a suspicious vehicle if they were staffed properly, because when you have that mindset, oh yeah, dude, we got a full staff tonight, man. Like, I'm not going to risk it, dude. I'm just going to call, give somebody something else to do. Plus it gives somebody a chance not to get another bullshit call. If you get a call over the radio to support K9, you're like, hell yeah, I'm going to do that before the 31 car break-ins at the apartment complex at 4:00 in the morning start coming in. I'm definitely going to go help that guy. But if you're short staffed, everybody's already tied up, and you're just gonna be like, I'm gonna do this suspicious vehicle by myself. And none of that short staffing happened until this guy was elected. And of course, this was an illegal alien, which under the sheriff, Gerald Baker here, was not doing any kind of detainers with ICE and had ICE removed from the jail. And so they were having to release these violent, illegal alien offenders back into the community, knowing that they're not going to come back to court because they can't get detainers on them, and nobody knows who they really are because they don't have real green cards. So the local elections, local politics absolutely affects you as a law enforcement officer. And stuff like this is just going to keep happening because they feel like they have too much power. Politicians in 2022, they feel like they are absolutely untouchable because they are all getting away with the craziest shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. It's nuts. Hey, real quick before I forget, guys, a new supporter of the show. If you guys like cigars, I do enjoy the occasional cigar myself. Not usually. I don't like to smoke a cigar by myself. I would rather be with a group of people smoking a cigar, having good conversation. I really, really enjoy that. And so do the guys at Founders Cigar Company. They are veteran owned, and they are super, super supportive of law enforcement and military, and they're good guys. Their whole purpose about their company is to help build community, bring people together over a good cigar. And so they have given us a discount code Wolfpack. So if you like cigars, you can show support to them because they show support to law enforcement. foundercigarco.com. Use the code Wolfpack. More about them in the future. I'm going to do a giveaway with that. There's some cool things in the works there for you guys with giveaways and other cool stuff. So
I love cigars. I love cigars.
Yeah.
I know you think it's the end of the show, but it's really not the end of the show because we have a couple other things that we got to chat about. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up is that Jeff had been dealing with the mob and didn't get killed. He'd been dealing with white nationalists and didn't get killed. He was investigating the FBI's involvement in the mass shooting and he didn't get killed. If Jeff would have been a concealed carrier and an avid carrier and was armed, he might would have been able to finish that fight. Now, I don't know what the rules are in Las Vegas. I'm guessing that they probably, what are the concealed carry laws in Vegas? Do you know? You probably can't. It's probably very hard to get a concealed carry license. I don't know.
No
Nevada's a strange place. It's a strange place. But either way, we are bringing on, and this is like, dude, this is like one of my favorite new sponsors that we have. And that's the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. And the reason why this is like super important, especially if you're a law enforcement supporter, if you're a fan, if you're law enforcement yourself and you're going to carry, the USCCA provides you with all the things that you need to carry a concealed weapon competently. Not only do they give out magazines when you subscribe to this, to the USCCA, they give you benefits, lots of benefits. I'll go over those with you, but also they provide you with an insurance as well, so that if you get in this, they can provide you an attorney quick, fast, and in all sorts of hurry. But right now you can go to the US Concealed Carry Association.com/Wolfpack to learn more. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association is an association of over 650,000 members dedicated to helping people make informed decisions. Members receive exclusive benefits geared towards self-defense, education, training, and self-defense liability insurance. Simply owning a gun doesn't prepare you for armed self-defense. You must be prepared to turn the tables and stop the threat. Imagine the peace of mind. Imagine that peace of mind that you wouldn't have to worry about somebody showing up with a vendetta to stab you, because you never know who's deranged. You don't know who you're firing or who's gotten fired because maybe you told on them because they were late. Maybe you're a supervisor at work. I don't know. But I bet you Jeff didn't think that he was going to get murdered at 11:45 in the afternoon, 11:48 in the afternoon. You got to always be prepared for this stuff. The USA memberships, you will learn how to increase your situational awareness, shoot accurately, fortify your home, prepare your loved ones, identify and avoid threats, de-escalate violations, stop multiple attackers. They've got different classes. You can get access to over 200 easy to understand videos. You can become a level 1 or level 2 or level 3 USCCA qualified through their little management system there. You get the concealed carry magazine, self-defense liability insurance. But you're part of a cool community with connections. There's lots of perks and discounts. So join now, man. It's really important. If you carry a concealed weapon, you should definitely be joining the United States Concealed Carry Association. Go to uscca.com/Wolfpack. And last but not least, baby, we've got Blue Chew for a couple months now. Check this out, guys. If you're a law enforcement officer, you're a first responder, you see heinous shit. If you read my book that's coming out pretty soon, which is called Pig Latin, a serious but funny true story, some of those stories are going to make you soft. And you don't want to be soft. You want to be hard. You want to be hard all the time. There's enough stress on the job that you don't need to be worried about your sexual performance. Now, I didn't know a lot about this stuff, but because Blue Chew wants to be a sponsor, I had to go on. I had to do a survey. I had to talk to a online doctor. And I'm going to get to try this stuff out. You don't even have to have an erectile dysfunction per se. You just fill out the survey to see if this is safe for you. It's a chewy. You take one chew, preferably on an empty stomach.
I see a documentary in the works. Transy, a story of transformation from flaccid to hard.
And I guess the survey I did, I applied for it. And by the way, this took me like 10 minutes. I did it like right before the show. And like the online doctor like goes like right, like as soon as you're done filling out the application, the online doctor pops right up, asks you a whole bunch of questions.
Hello, how are you, Transy?
And
How
then,
would you rate your directions?
God,
I will give you 12 Blue Chews.
why do you have to do that? Why did you have to do it?
I don't know.
Why did you have to do it this time? No, absolutely not at all. It was an American nurse
Oh, cool.
doctor who was fucking awesome. She was like
Sorry.
the nicest lady of all time. And like, I even asked her question. She said like, preferably I should be taking the stuff on an empty stomach. And I said, well, like, but what if oysters? Do oysters enhance the chew?
That's not.
And she even laughed. She thought that was funny because oysters are an aphrodisiac. So she laughed. I mean, like I had a great conversation with the
I
with the
will
lady.
give you the Blue Chew for being harder than Mount Rushmore. It will be like a rock.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. I think the application that I filled out, $20 a month, and you get a subscription to this stuff. So you can take them anytime, day or night. You can plan ahead or be ready whenever. And again, these are prescription valves, so they're not like over the counter. This isn't like an over the counter gas station drug. It's the same ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. So you have to do the doctor thing. You have to do the little questionnaire to get it for you. And it just gives you the peace of mind. It doesn't mean that you have erectile dysfunction per se, but it might mean that like when you have traumatic incidents and things might be difficult for you for a couple of weeks or months leading up to that travel. It's just something that gets you in the game, man. So it's one less stress that you have to have. Once you get approved, the best part is that it's all done online. You don't have to visit a doctor's office. There's no awkward conversations unless you bring up oysters. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped direct to your door in discreet packaging. Right now, if you go with the benefit, you can get a free sample of this. Use that promo code Wolfpack. $5 shipping, bluechew.com, promo code Wolfpack to receive your first month free. All you gotta do is pay that $5 shipping. I'm going to give it a shot, man. Everybody knows here that I have no problem getting hard. I'm hard all the time. Probably hard too much. I'm probably hard
5 times.
too much. I'm hard right now. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was 5 times. That was the Australian dude that got murdered by his wife. But I say that I'm probably good for 3 if you play your cards right.
Yeah, right.
In a day, in a 24-hour time, I could probably knock out 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right now with no Blue Chew. So now I'm going to do the Blue Chew and see if I can get. I'm going to try to see if I can use Blue Chew and see if I can go for 5 or 6. I want to see what it does. So I got it coming. Do you want to get up on the bandwagon? You want me to have them send you some? I've got a code just for you.
No, I'll be number 6 for you. If you can get through 5, I'll be number 6.
But how do I prove that I did 5? I have to send you
because if
samples?
You get to me, you've done it. That's how confident I am that you won't get 5.
Dude, I'm excited to have the Blue Chew though on there. I mean, when we've had these things in the past, they've always done really well because a lot of first responders, man, it all starts at home. Being a good cop means life's got to be good at home. And if you're not taking care of business at home, and look, it might be as simple as, you're not hard because you have don't think about erectile dysfunction as my dick doesn't work. That's not what I'm talking about. But, you're having nightmares of these dead babies and it's domestic violence. You might not want to be hard.
Dead leg media's comment. Pride Mike writing checks his ass can't catch.
Yeah, he's about to catch it. I'm about to cash in on that booty. On that BJ booty. But I don't know. I'm gonna think of another giveaway this week for Feather Stop.
I'll turn into Robert Tellis real quick.
Oh God. I'll be the Robert Tellis. You'll be the one that's getting stabbed 7 times.
I'll beat you to death with my bare hand.
No, I'll be stabbing you 7 times with my hard erect penis.
Gross. Hotel Transy, where we leave a Blue Chew on your ghost bed pillow at night.
Oh my God.
Also with a Founder's cigar on top of the bed and a rip pack for after the cigar.
Man, we brought you guys. We got a lot of stuff.
And Manscaped in the bathroom. We have you covered. It's anything in the bedroom and bathroom is all set with us.
And Christmas is coming, baby. And birthdays are always around the corner. But dude, I love that we get to go find our own sponsors.
We got 10 in stock if you want a Giddy Up.
Oh, we do. We got the Giddy Up boxes back?
Yeah, 10 in stock.
Because those sold in the first weekend.
Yeah.
But that's great about picking our own sponsors now is that we can pick shit that our viewers actually need and want. Feels good. Feels good to be bringing on cool stuff. And we've always loved Manscaped. We've always loved Ghost Bed. We all carry concealed. Who doesn't need a freaking Blue Chew from now and then? I'm all in.
But that Blue Chew, you'll be concealing yet another weapon.
Dude, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna call you and be like, dude, I'm so hard right now. You have no idea.
I'm not answering. I can promise.
Freaking even Whoopi Goldberg's turning me on right now.
Gross. All right. Well, that was a ton of ad reads at the end of the show. But hey, a lot of people stuck through. I was watching the numbers. Most people, when we started wrapping up, disappeared. But then we stayed 115 plus strong.
Dude, we give the best ad
all
reads.
Through the ad reads. Shit. It's amazing.
We give the best ad reads of all time.
I love it.
But go to Blue Chew, man. Check it out. I did the online. I was scared to do it. I was like, man, I have to do this. They were like, yeah, we're a sponsor. You got to do it. And actually, I'm pretty boned up to try it out now. So I was like, I don't have, I can get a boner. And she's like, well, in those times when when your wife's ready to go and maybe you're just not feeling it, maybe you're feeling a little bit depressed, a little bit low,
What'd she say? How soon do you got to take it? It's not instantaneous, right?
Yeah. So it's good for 4 hours. And it's 45 minutes prior to your engagement. And then, but you don't get a boner for 45 minutes. I mean, for 4 hours, you don't get a boner. It just means you're ramped up. There's blood flow. You're just excited, and so you can get a boner when you're ready to, when you're horny. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm taking the Blue Chew, I would see, that's the thing is even thinking about it, I would already be hard thinking about it. And then I would take it and then I would know I take it. And then I would be hard. And then I would just be sore.
I'm glad that whatever you said, I'm glad we missed it.
Please make it stop.
Oh,
We'll see what happens, dude. I'm gonna do it.
the Leaning Tower of Transy. Gross.
Jeff Shear says, "Will Blue Chew last for 2 minutes? That's all I need." Well, evidently, it lasts for 4 hours, but it doesn't mean you have a hard on for 4 hours. Ruben Snyder says, "I guess I can finally achieve a no hands push up after taking Blue Chew." If you're
Like
carrying
this
with the
no
US, if you're carrying with the USCCA, go ahead and put that gun away before you take this stuff. You know, because you're going to be shooting loads.
Oh, stop.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. I made it through. Nobody even saw that one coming.
Oh boy.
Dude, I could go all
All right,
day.
We got to end this now.
I gotta
Good.
go
We love you
all
guys.
day.
Bye.